A few years ago, a young lady approached me for counseling because she was experiencing sexlessness in marriage. It was their seventh year in marriage, and her husband stopped having sex with her when they clocked 5 years in marriage. And she was worried where her husband was getting sexually satisfied from, and the husband won't speak to her. Well, everything else was going well in the house. He was paying the bills. Sometimes they get to talk, sometimes they get to eat together. At other times, everybody just stay their way. Now, it got to a point she was able to cope, but as the years progressed, she began to be really very worried that this would eventually end the marriage. Now, sexlessness in marriage is common to many couples, but what do you do about it? Now, before then, when you experience sexlessness in marriage, what happened? The effect of sexlessness in marriage is huge. So if you're married and you're watching this video, I beg you to protect your marriage from everything that will make it become sexless. And if you are already experiencing a drain in your sexual intimacy, you may want to make effort to put the spark back. Now, I must also warn here that for you to put the spark back into your sexual life, take the both parties. It's not about the husband wants, the wife doesn't want it, or the wife wants to make the effort and the husband doesn't want it. It's a mutual effort that both of you must make to bring the marriage together. And when sexlessness persists in marriage, is enough to end the marriage. Now, that does not mean to say that if you are experiencing sexlessness in your marriage, the first step to take is a divorce. No, there are several reasons which I'm going to discuss in this video. There are several reasons that could make sexlessness happen in marriage, and all of them are issues that the couple can deal with if they still want the marriage. However, the effects of sexlessness in marriage cannot be overemphasized. The first thing is you find out that both of you are lonely. You are lonely at your end, he is lonely or he or she is lonely at our own end, and then there is a constant feeling of negative. You are sort of always angry because what you want, you cannot get it. And then sometimes you will see couple experiencing and exhibiting emotional resentment. You just hate your partner for no reason, or you're just getting frustrated. One little mistake, it blows up like it's something that is big. And then there's also the feeling of guilt. Now, that feeling of guilt comes when one partner is being friendly with an opposite sex outside, and you begin to think, oh, I made a mistake. And then you come back and you begin to feel guilty for the choices that you have made. Then another effect that you can have is that you may begin to struggle to deal with sexual pressures from outside. So sexlessness in marriage is a massive problem that a couple must deal with. Now, some relationship, the couple might be able to still stay pure, to still stay holy, to still be faithful in spite of the sexlessness. Now, it's not in every marriage that may happen, even for believers, born again, God-fearing. So that means that if you are experiencing sexlessness in marriage, don't just throw it aside and say, well, it's my husband's problem or it's my wife's problem. Now, I'm going to be discussing various reasons why a marriage may experience sexlessness. Now, the very first reason is different or low sex drives. People get married, there's the excitement of, oh, we're going to have sex until we're tired, we're going to have sex until you run away from me, and then you get married. And you find that way is not as you think, because the husband and the wife, most of the time, they have different sex drive, what people will call libido. So there is one person who wants it more. Some people can cope with different rounds in a day, different rounds in a week. Some people can even go every day. But if you have a partner who can go every day, and it may mean that that person is unable to satisfy your drive. Now, at that point, what should be done? There should be a line of compromise where the person who wants it less is willing to make some sacrifices to come up a little, and the person who wants it more is willing to make a sacrifice to go at the pace of the other person. So if you notice that your partner It's someone who doesn't want sex so much. Don't just conclude that, well, my marriage is sexless. You may need to see a counselor and help your partner get up. Now, another thing that may bring sexlessness in marriage is childbirth. For some people, once they have a child, everything about their sex life just changes. Now, I believe that it starts from the point where the doctor tells you, well, after you give birth, don't have sex until 6 months, until 5 months, and they give you a certain period of time where you should not have sex. Now, that is not even it when it comes to childbirth. Children, nursing children, especially as baby, can be very, very stressful. And that stress can take a toll on the body of a woman. It can make her angry, it can make her frustrated, it can make her become overwhelming. So imagine a woman who has been busy all day taking care of one infant who can speak for themselves, and you have to decode what is going on, and then she's been all absorbed in caring for that child all day, and then sometime later the day she has husband she still has to take care of. So if a wife does not find means by which she can manage these chores and taking care of the children, it's going to put a strain on sexual intimacy. Number 3 is menopause. Now, a lot of women get to menopause earlier than men, and if you have a situation where a woman gets to menopause earlier than her husband, it's going to affect sexual intimacy. Now, does it mean that when a wife gets to menopause she should not have sex anymore? No, that's not it. There are also many ways a wife can express affection to her husband that is not that is different from actual penetration. When that happens, it is important that the couple deliberately look for other means to express affection, even if they are not sexually intimate. However, that does not mean that the wife or whoever is experiencing this who is experiencing these emotional times does not mean that you still cannot give sexual satisfaction. Number 4 is communication problem. I think this is common in many marriages. When there's communication breakdown, you are going to have issues with sex. And many homes struggle with communicating. Many marriages struggle with communicating. I say something, you hear something else. I am referring to something, you hear something else. Now, when you cannot resolve conflict amicably, it's going to affect sexual intimacy. So when there's communication breakdown, it's going to affect sex in marriage. Number 5, which will be the last one I will list for this video. Please look forward to the next video where I will talk about other causes of sexlessness in marriage, is where you have health issues. Now, sometimes the marriage starts out all good and everybody is happy, you love each other, and you are having sexual intimacy several times in a day, in a week, and here you are, the other person begin to have health issues. They cannot sexually meet your needs like it used to be. So health challenge may make the marriage become sexless. Medical condition may make the marriage become sexless. Now, one of it may be impotence. Now, when a man is impotent, you don't expect that he will be able to satisfy his partner sexually. Now, sometimes when a man is stressed, when a man is tired, and I mean really mentally stressed, it can affect their erection. Like if they have poor self-esteem, it can also affect their erection. So when there are health issues, the couple should look into it, solve it, and then they can have a good sex life again. Like I said, in the next video, I'm going to be talking about other causes of sexlessness in marriage.